What's up everyone, how are you all? Today we are back with another blazing Naruto story. What if neglected Naruto has a fiance? If you enjoy then please like, share and do comments. The Fourth Great Ninja War had been a long and very deadly affair. Thousands if millions from the five great nations lost their lives due to the ambitions of Madara and Obito Uchiha, who wished to purge the world of strife and suffering. So much had happened during the war, some were good, most were bad. But what really mattered was that everything that had taken place during the Great War had really taken its toll on all those involved. When the infinite Tsukuyomi was cast, everyone thought that everything was finally over, but this time events were about to take a strange turn. The heroes of the Fourth Great Shinobi War, Naruto Celebi, Mira Namikaze and Sasuke Uchiha, who had witnessed the death of Madara at the hands of Black Zetsu, who had secretly worked toward the goal of reviving his mother Kaguya Otsutsuki, the mother of all chakra. They fought long and hard against the sad and misguided woman who believed that human beings misused her chakra by using its power to wage war against other humans. Naruto, Mira, and Sasuke tried their best to convince her that there are other people who use it to keep peace in the world like she had always wanted. But Kaguya couldn't bring herself to believe it, not after all seen before she obtained chakra which had saddened them. However, despite everything, they managed to defeat and seal her in the end and freed everyone from the infinite Tsukuyomi. The three of them were hailed as the heroes of the Fourth Great War. Sasuke throughout the war gained pardon and forgiveness. He also managed to obtain the Rinnegan. Mira was praised for her sealing techniques and prowess due to her Uzumaki heritage. However, Naruto was the one to fully defeat and seal Kaguya permanently. But he managed to seal away her chakra within his own body. Naruto was praised among the five nations. Upon the end of the war, the dead that lost their lives were gathered among their home villages. Among the dead were some of the bravest shinobi to ever fight. Kumo suffered the loss of their hero Killer Bee. Konoha suffered the loss of Karen Uzumaki, Neji Hyuga, and Tsunade Senju. Iwagakure suffered the loss of Oanoki's granddaughter. Kirigakure lost Ao, Mei's close advisor. Suna suffered the loss of Kankuro, who gave his life to save Gaara. Also, most of the Jinchuriki were dead, leaving only Naruto, Yugito, yes she survived, and Gaara as the only ones left. So many dead and so many grieving for their loved ones that lost their lives. Thus was the price of war. Everyone had returned to their villages, each of the cages vowing to do everything in their power to ensure that peace would reign and destroy anyone that would threaten it. It had taken this war to unite the nations, and showing them how senseless their personal grudges had been. All it took was one man, and now peace fully restored to the shinobi world, or was it? Konohagakure, October 12th. Months had passed since the end of the war and peace had flourished ever since. Kumo and Iwa had better relationships with the Leaf, and the hate between Oanoki and Minato had finally burned out. In fact, it was better than that. Minato was finally able to bury the hatchet with the old man. The Raikage owned Konoha a great debt for the peace that Naruto had brought upon the world. For not only did Naruto do that, but also saving Yugito, who was like a daughter to him. The nations owed a lot to Naruto, who would have thought a boy who suffered a neglectful life with the Namikaze family and thought to be weak would rise up to become the most powerful shinobi in the world. Speaking of said hero, Naruto was enjoying his victory at his house with his friend Kurama and his mother Celebi the Spider Queen. Celebi was proud of her little spider for not only achieving peace but also of becoming the most powerful ninja in existence. Well, Kaguya is sealed away, her power stripped from her, and peace finally restored to the shinobi world. Naruto chuckled, drinking down a glass of wine. Don't rest so easily, my son. Peace has been achieved, yes. But there will always be those who wish to destroy it. True peace is a dream of foolish men who can't seem to understand how the real world works. Celebi said firmly. Naruto nodded his head. His mother was correct, peace wasn't permanent. The Fourth Great War was a devastating blow to the shinobi world and many people gave their lives. But somewhere along the way there will be someone powerful who might call upon a fifth great shinobi war. But for now the world can rest while she still can. So Naruto, what do you plan to do now that the war is over? Kurama asked. Do you plan on proposing to Hinata? Naruto blushed a little as he held out a gold ring gifted to him by Tsunade. He was waiting for the right time to propose to her, but he couldn't find the right moment to ask her. He looked at the fox with his cheeky grin. Of course Kurama, Hinata is the only girl for me. While they were talking, Shelib had a vision as she saw glimpses of Naruto, but he was sad, his heart broken and a dark shroud around him. What could this vision mean? Was someone going to hurt her son? They better pray to their god and hope not. Naruto was the most precious thing in the queen's life and she would be damned if someone hurt him. Sensing his mother's distress, he asked what was wrong. Nothing Sochi, it's nothing. Shelib chuckled, not wanting to reveal what she saw in her vision. So how are your friends faring? Well, Hinata is finally going to become head of the Hyuga clan. Her father finally sees her strength and will to fight. Hanabi is working at the hospital, apparently she has a gift medical ninjutsu. Sasuke has been brought into the Anbu Black Ops, Lucky Teme. Shikamaru is working as Minato's office aide and personal secretary. I'm surprised that blonde Teme even hired Shikamaru. I know he's smart but he's lazy to boot, Kurama joked. Cut the guy some slack. What he lacks in physical strength he makes up for it with smarts. Point taken, the fox replied. Speaking of Minato, what's the blonde bastard been doing? Well, after getting things settled with the other villages, Minato has decided to step down and nominate the next Hokage. Shelib took a sip of blood from her glass. Though I find it strange since he's still young. My guess is that asshole finally understood what a failure he was as Hokage. Kurama laughed out loud. Hopefully he will choose someone who has far more intelligence than stupidity. I'll drink to that, Naruto grinned. Hokage's office. The yellow flash of the leaf was trying to decide who his successor was going to be. There were many candidates for the position, such as Kakashi Hitaki, his student, Kushina Namikaze, his wife, or one of his children. So many choices, and he wondered if any one of them could help restore the village's prosperity now that the war ended. So many choices and it's really difficult to choose, Minato groaned as he looked over the folders of all the candidates. Still trying to figure out a good candidate? A voice rang out as he turned to see his sensei Jiraiya by the window. He sighed as he was used to his unique way of entering his office, but sometimes it just annoyed him. He couldn't understand why he would choose to use the window rather than the door like a normal person would. But no matter how many times he told the perverted Sannin to use the door, he continues to use the window. Sometimes he wished he stayed dead so he wouldn't have to keep dealing with his perverted ways. But hey, he was a father figure to him. I can't decide, Jiraiya, they are all perfect for the position of Godem. He yelled as he leaned back into his chair, rubbing his temples, trying to avoid getting a headache. Jiraiya looked at the village through the window. His eyes went to his student. Why not Mira or Kakashi? He replied. Kakashi would be a great choice, replied Minato as he looked over his file. Kakashi Hitaki is one of our greatest ninja. He specialized in lightning jutsu. He's a master of over 1,000 jutsus, student of the 4th Hokage, a prodigy among prodigies, despite his laziness. He laughed. Jiraiya nodded as he knew that Kakashi was a good choice. He's known him since he became Minato's pupil, and from what he found out about the young lad was that his skills could rival even that of his father Tsukumo's abilities. If he's anything like his father, then I have no doubt he'd be a great Hokage. Minato nodded his head in agreement as he looked through more of the files as he came to Sasuke's file. Oh, how he despised the Uchiha since his defection to Orochimaru. But it was all thanks to Naruto that he even pardoned him after hearing how Sasuke slain the snake and returned to the village. He couldn't understand why he would just come back after betraying the leaf, until she was told by Sasuke himself that he came back because of Naruto, which confused him greatly. He knew the boys were close though, like brothers. Jiraiya, he said, getting his attention. What would you say about Sasuke Uchiha being the next Hokage? The Toad Sannin snorted, as if I would choose that traitor to become the Hokage. All he cared about in life was power and the sole purpose of gaining it at any cost in order to become powerful enough to kill Itachi. Sasuke's name made the Toad Sannin's blood boil. He never liked that brat ever since his attempt to kill his student Mira during the retrieval mission. If it wasn't for the fools on the council, he would have gladly tore Sasuke's body apart the moment he arrived back at the leaf with her and Naruto. I understand your anger, you pervert, believe me I do, but according to his updated file he seemed to be a good choice, at least in the council's opinion. The Yondaime sighed as he handed him Sasuke's file. As Jiraiya took the file from his teammate's hands, he couldn't help but agree with her. Sasuke's skills in both ninja and political fields were not something to ignore. Jiraiya gazed upon the open file as he started to read. Name: Sasuke Uchiha. Age: 16 years old. Gender: male. Hair color: black. Eye color: black. Bloodline: Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, Rinnegan. Rank: Crow Sannin. Status: hero of the 4th Great Ninja War. Clan: Uchiha Clan. Village: Konohagakure. Known elemental affinities: lightning and fire. Jutsus: Chidori, Raiden Rasengan, Grand Fireball Jutsu, Kage Bushin no Jutsu. Weapons: Shuriken, Kunai, and Twin Swords. Special abilities: Tsukuyomi, Kamui, high chakra capacity. Ability to copy any technique from jutsu to seals. Summons: Crow Contract. Other information: killed Orochimaru, destroyed Otogakure and finally killed Itachi. He killed Madara Uchiha along with Obito Uchiha and Kagaya Otsutsuki with the help of Naruto Shelab and Mira Namikaze. Jiraiya slammed the folder back onto the desk. I still don't give a crap. I would never vote for Sasuke even if you had 100 women try and convince me, he said in a firm and stubborn voice. He then sat back down on the windowsill when all of a sudden a thought came to his head. What about my prized student Mira? I'm telling you, she's a prodigy like her father, there is no doubt about it. She was able to master the Rasengan in 3 months. She's apprentice level in the art of sealing, and to top it off she's mastered a few of my own techniques, he said with tons of praise. Not to mention you trained her in the ways of politics. She would be the greatest choice instead of Sasuke. He laughed. You are right about that. You pervert my daughter truly is a great ninja like her father. Minato smiled as he was so proud of how much his daughter had come. Hokage-sama, what about Naruto-sama? Shizune asked. Minato thought about it for a minute. He remembered Naruto was gifted in the art of medical ninjutsu. He also had the ability of seeing into the future, and he was a powerful fuinjutsu user. He was also smart in politics and law, which greatly benefited the boy's skill and knowledge. The boy was a perfect candidate, but at the same time he was more qualified on the field than in an office. He was still deeply hurt that he and Kushina weren't the ones who helped him build his path to becoming a strong shinobi. No, that job was done by a giant spider who revealed herself to be a powerful yet semi-divine woman. He regretted passing Naruto over for his sister, who he thought was the child of prophecy at the time. But he trusted his sensei's judgment, and for that he burned all bridges with his son. He still couldn't believe how a simple mistake could have ruined his family. Shizune, as much as Naruto would be a good candidate, and I'm not saying he's not. I just think he's more effective in the field. Maybe Anbu perhaps, Minato answered. Plus we are in times of rebuilding and we need someone who is able to handle this kind of dire situation. Besides, Naruto can still help the village by rebuilding the Senju clan since Tsunade named him her heir before she died. Now I have to gather a council meeting to discuss my choice of the Godaime Hokage, so can you please file these papers away please? Also send word to Naruto that the council meeting is about to begin, he asked before leaving with his sensei. Shizune nodded her head as she headed towards the desk to put away the folders. I hope the one he chooses will ensure the survival of our village in the years to come, she thought to herself as she stacked all the files onto the desk when all of a sudden Naruto's file fell off the pile and onto the floor. Ooh, damn it all, Shizune growled as she bent down to pick it up. She knew much about Naruto ever since she first met him. She believed him to be a great Hokage. I'm sure Minato-san won't mind me peeking at Naruto's file, she chuckled as she opened the folder. As she was reading, she was suddenly completely shocked at what she read. Name: Naruto Shelab. Age: 16 years old. Gender: male. Hair color: black. Eye color: silver. Rank: Spider Sannin. Status: Kyuubi Jinchuriki and hero of the 4th Great Ninja War. Bloodline: Mokuton and Seer. Clan: Senju and Shelab. Village: Konohagakure. Father: unknown. Mother: Shelab the Seer Spider Queen. Known elemental affinities: wind, water, and fire, and purified darkness. Jutsus: Shadow Strike, Hell's Illusion, Mini-tailed Beast Bomb, the Kitsune Foxfire no Jutsu, Kage Bushin no Jutsu, Mind Crush. Weapons: Kunai, Shuriken, 6th-Path Sage's Staff. Special abilities: Tailed Beast Cloak, 6th Path Sage Mode, Mind control, seeing into the future, giant spider transformation. Summons, foxes and spiders. Other information. Saved Wave Country from Gato, saved Princess Koyuki and Spring Country from her uncle. He defeated the Shukaku Jinchuriki, saved Moon Country. Rescued Shion the priestess. Defeated Madara and Obito with the help of Sasuke and Mira. Defeated Kagaya by sealing her away back into the moon. Shizune smiled as she closed the folder and placed it along with the other files back into the desk drawer. Naruto, I prayed to Kami that you will be our next Hokage. After all, you're the sunshine that shines its rays onto our village and fill us with happiness and joy. She noticed that Naruto didn't put his father's name on the file. But she understood the reason why he didn't. After putting away the folders, she sent out word to the other council members. But she sent a carrier pigeon to deliver messages to the Forest of Death. Why pigeons, you ask? It's because the village was scared of the sheer power of Sheleb and she was overly protective of Naruto. Tying the note to the pigeon's leg, she told it to send the letter to Naruto immediately. Once it departed, Shizune decided to go out for some dango as she headed out to the dango shop to meet up with Anko. Word soon reached the clan heads the fourth was going to discuss his decision of who will succeed him. Naruto was excited as he had a strong belief that he would finally achieve his dream. I mean, who wouldn't nominate the strongest person in the world? Kissing his mother goodbye, he headed off to the meeting. Yet Kurama couldn't help but feel something was going to go wrong. Council chambers. Minato soon came to the council chambers as he took a deep breath. He was nervous, but he already protected the village through 2 wars. It was now a new era and time for someone else to take the mantle of Hokage. You ready for this, Minato? Jiraiya asked. As ready as I'll ever be, Minato chuckled as he entered the chambers. They burst into the chambers where the Shinobi Council and the elders were waiting for her. Hiyashi Hyuga, clan head of the Hyuga clan. Shikaku Nara, head of the Nara clan. Sume Inuzuka, matriarch of the Inuzuka clan. Inoichi Yamanaka, head of the Yamanaka clan. Choza Akamichi, clan head of the Akamichi clan. Shibi Aburame, head of the Aburame clan. Mira Namikaze, clan head of the Namikaze clan, accompanied by her mother Kushina Namikaze ne Uzumaki, clan head of the Uzumaki clan. Sasuke Uchiha, clan head of the Uchiha clan. Naruto Senju Sheleb, clan head of the Senju and newly formed Sheleb clan. Finally, the elders Homura Mitokado, Kaharu Utatane were there along with the civilian council and the fire daimyo. Minato took to his seat with Jiraiya closely behind him. Nobody would tell him to leave the council chambers even when he was not a member. He was one of the strongest in the village and was most importantly the strongest Sannin next to Orochimaru. That gave him privileges that other shinobi didn't have. Hello everyone, Minato said as he looked around the table and gazed at each clan council member. He could see the clan heads shifting their eyes towards him as the daimyo spoke up. Lord Minato-sama, good to see you. I trust you have chosen who you wanted for the position of Godem Hokage, he asked with a calm look on his face. Yes, I have, he said in a pleasing tone. But first I would like to ask all of you, who you want to choose to be Hokage. I nominate himself, Naruto said quickly as Minato gave him a sad, painful look. The others seemed impressed with the nomination as murmurs and whispers went around the council chambers. I'm well known, strong, and respected among the 5 great nations. Hiyashi turned towards the Senju clan head, while your strength was a blessing during the war. But most of it was pure luck. Naruto scoffed at that. Hey, I also used taijutsu, fuinjutsu, and kenjutsu. Not to mention I'm also good at strategies and tactics. Your skill in that is impressive, Naruto-san, but it doesn't rival the Nara clan, Shikaku responded proudly. Kyuubi-sama trained me before the war, Naruto replied in a calm voice as he laid his hands on the table. The shinobi and the civilian council were shocked that the very demon that destroyed their village 16 years ago had trained their greatest hero. But what shocked them most was the respect Naruto was giving the demon fox. Oh, Naruto-sama, you were trained by the Kyuubi, you say? You would be a fine selection for being the 6th Hokage, the daimyo said excitingly. Excuse me, Minato said before speaking up. Daimyo-sama, if I may offer some advice? He asked as he stood from his seat. The fire daimyo turned his head to face Minato. Ooh, and what advice would that be, old friend? Daimyo-sama, I am not sure if you are aware, but Naruto isn't mature enough to take on the responsibility of becoming Hokage. He stated, shocking everyone including Naruto. Naruto may have had prior training in the ways of politics, but he solely relies on power alone most of the time. So I would like to nominate my daughter. She has been trained by Kushina and I in the family arts. Jiraiya trained her in senjutsu and summoning. I also trained her in politics, and from what I've seen she's quite the political and powerful ninja. She has the skills necessary to run the village. He then sat back down in his seat, not even looking at the look on his son's face. Naruto was silently fuming. Excuse me? He said to himself as he was gritting his teeth. Easy Naruto, calm yourself, Kyuubi said to him. My father thinks I'm not capable of being Hokage. Naruto seethed back in response. Then speak your piece and let him know that. The fox shouted. Minato-sama, what you stated about me is a load of crap, he yelled as he slammed his fist onto the table. Remember, Kyuubi-sama was the one that trained me, he knows the way humans work. He and Tsunade trained me in politics, jutsu, and the skills necessary to rule if I ever became Hokage. He said in a disrespectful tone towards the former Hokage. Show some respect, Minato demanded as he was seething with rage at the disrespect his son was giving him. He then took a deep breath. Naruto, I understand your anger, but I have my reasons for this. Really? So you're saying that I, who defeated Kaguya, sealed her away, and stripped her of her chakra, am not capable of ruling this village? Naruto fumed. I'm not saying you're incapable. I'm saying despite everything you've done you're still too brash. Mira is calm, analytic, and is able to handle dire situations in a greater level. Besides, you could still be a Anbu captain like Kakashi or Kushina. Anbu could use someone like you and you could bring about the next generation of Anbu. You know that I turned down being the youngest Anbu captain since Itachi years ago. Naruto pinched his nose, groaning. Which I never understood why. You were so gifted and a prodigy. Do you know how many times I was asked to put you in Anbu ever since you turned down the position? Trust me Naruto, your destiny is in Anbu. Being Hokage just isn't for you, and I'm sure everyone here agrees. Sume on the other hand couldn't help but agree with Minato. I have to agree with Minato. Daimyo-sama, Naruto may be strong but his skills was mostly minor ninjutsu, senjutsu, and his summoning. He won't be the perfect candidate. I still think we should let Mira lead the village. When I looked at their character references, I noticed that Naruto is still sometimes too brash, while his sister can keep calm. We don't need a Hokage who works with feelings alone, but someone who can stay analytic. Something that is near impossible for Naruto, said Shibi Aburame. If we still had war, things may have been different, but right now we need someone who is prepared to lead. Naruto has the necessary strength and the trust of the villagers, but he doesn't have the skills to rebuild a village in times of peace. Said Choza. If I may, I believe Sasuke has the needed intelligence to harvest Konoha to an even greater and glorious state, said Kushina. Currently Konoha still has to face the money crises and the massive shortage of resources. Even though Minato-kun worked so hard, not all traces of the war vanished. She then looked at Naruto. I'm sorry Naruto-chan, but you don't have the knowledge or the needed intelligence to counter these economical problems. You're better off on the battlefield or in Anbu. You too? Naruto said coldly. Even you think I'm pathetic? Kushina gasped at that remark. That's not what I said, I'm saying even though you can't be Hokage, you can still help the village by rebuilding the Senju clan since Tsunade named you her heir. Ooh yeah, that's right, Naruto chuckled. That's a great idea. Instead of being Hokage, I can just be a baby maker. Naruto screamed at the end of his sentence. Are you out of your mind? I'm a shinobi, not some walking sperm bank to fertilize every whore you send my way. There is a fine example of why Naruto can't lead a village. He gets angered too quickly and he can't control his emotions. Minato pointed out. Hey, if you were ordered to be a walking sperm donator, how would you feel? Let's just get on with it. The Daiwaimo sighed in irritation. Who did you really choose to become the next Hokage? I have done much thought and I have nominated Mira Namikaze as the Godem, he declared as her words earned nods from the clan heads minus Naruto. Mira, you sure? Mira gasped, shocked at this turn of events. I mean, I'm honored, but this is so sudden. You'll do perfect, you have the knowledge, skill, and analytic mind to handle situations. You're perfect, Jiraiya praised. Do you all agree? The daimyo asked as the civilian and shinobi council nodded in agreement. Very well, I her be named Mira Namikaze the Godem Hokage. The council cheered for their chosen candidate, everyone except Naruto, who was seething in rage that he lost the chance to become Hokage. But he was also about to lose so much more. I would also like to announce that Hinata Hyuga had offered her hand to my daughter in marriage. Minato announced, which shocked the council and Naruto. Hinata soon came into the council chambers and stood before Mira. Naruto gasped in horror. Hinata was his secret crush and the love of his life. He promised her he was going to marry her when the war over. Never could he believe that she would betray him like this. He turned to look at the Hyuga, who turned away from him. Hinata couldn't look at the boy she once had a crush on. She liked him and loved him at one point, but somehow all those feelings vanished and feelings for Mira sprouted. She also found out that Mira was lesbian, thus making it easier for her to express her feelings. Naruto saw his sister take her hand and placed a ring on her finger. He saw Hinata's eyes fill with tears as she kissed her. His heart broke along with his spirit. He lost the one he loved the most to his sister. The wedding will be held a week from now, Minato smiled. What about Naruto? One of the civilians asked. Yes, what about me? Naruto said coldly, making everyone wince. Minato took notice of his son's eyes. They were dim and cold and filled with pain and loss. He knew that Naruto loved Hinata and talked about a lot. Not in a fanboy way, but like a normal crush. He sighed as he knew his son's heart was breaking. He could tell as he saw his hands gripping the table tightly. He could also tell that he was trying to hold back his tears. He had to ensure Naruto didn't go into an emotional rampage, since Jinchuriki are triggered by emotions and a heartbroken one is very dangerous. I knew Hinata would choose Mira, so I arranged for Naruto to marry Sakura Haruno. What? Naruto shouted, standing up. You arranged for me to marry that pink-haired fangirl? Hey, that's my daughter you're talking about, Mebuki growled. Naruto, she's perfect for you, Kushina said to her angered son. She's not perfect for me. I would rather drown in a pool of poisonous snakes than marry her. Naruto slammed his fist down. Besides, shouldn't who I marry be my choice? I'm sorry Naruto, but all the other candidates were already taken. Ayame is marrying Kiba. Ino isn't ready for marriage yet, and Tenten is still mourning over Neji. Minato groaned. Just give her a chance. Tell me, Minato, how could some flat-chested monkey be perfect for me? Naruto shouted. You should know my mother is very picky of who I marry. And I say she's perfect for you, Kushina answered hotly. Naruto glared his silver eyes at her. I wasn't talking about you, Kushina. I was talking about Sheleb, the Spider Queen. The council shivered at the mention of the Spider Queen. Sheleb was a powerful oracle who could grant visions of the future to anyone who sought her out. Mostly for a price. Kushina winced from being reminded of the woman who stole Naruto from her. Even though Naruto was neglected by her and Minato, every single day he spent with that mistress of spiders, and seeing him smile at her, hugging her, calling her mother broke her heart more times than she could count. She hated Sheleb with such malice. Don't bring up that freak bitch's name, Kushina hissed. Hey, Naruto shouted. The only difference between you and Lady Sheleb is that she was an actual mother. Kushina felt her heart break as tears streaked down her cheeks. Naruto's words, right there, cut her deeper than any knife. Now then, I'd rather fuck Orochimaru than ever touch her, Naruto snorted. Hell, I'd rather have with Yugito than touch that saggy sack of monkey shit. You have no choice, you will marry Sakura the following week. Believe me Naruto, she's your perfect match. Minato shouted. This is an order from your Hokage as well as your father. Marry me to her and she will be fed to mother. Ka-san hasn't had the taste of human flesh in a long time. Naruto threatened. Everyone was silent at the death threat that the young raven-haired boy had given. Like Minato, they thought Sakura was perfect for him since he used to crush on her back at the academy. But hearing all this hate for the pink-haired medic, they wondered what could have caused Naruto to hate her so much. Naruto, I don't tolerate threats, Minato scolded. As a shinobi of this village I expect obedience. Then you leave me no choice. Naruto stood up as he ripped off his headband and tossed it in front of Minato. Shock filled the room. Naruto had renounced his ninja status as a shinobi of the leaf. Therefore he was no longer under Minato's control. Minato sighed at his son's attitude, as this only proved his point of him easily getting angry. Naruto, I am not going to let you resign. You're too important to let go. You are our most powerful asset. Because of my ability to see into the future, right? Your bloodline is too special to lose. So we must breed it for the village," said Kaharu. "Wow, never thought I hear something that Danzo would spout coming out of your mouth, Minato." Naruto laughed, making Minato fume. "But like I said, my mother won't like this. She won't let any woman touch me. I'm sure we can convince her." Jiraiya replied with arrogance. "Ha, the last time some whore tried to get in my pants, Lady Shelab devoured her. So in the future think before you go against my mother. Because like I said, she hasn't had human flesh in years." Minato, seeing this was going nowhere, soon called for the meeting to end. Myra's coronation as Hokage would be happening in a week's time. Everyone was happy with it as everyone left minus Minato, Kushina, Mira, Hinata, and Jiraiya. They were focused on Naruto as the boy just stood there not saying a single word. "How could you?" he mumbled, making everyone raise an eyebrow. "How could you betray me, Hinata? How could you break a promise that we made during the war? Naruto, you were just a fling she had." Mira sighed. "Besides, we'll admit you're cute, but you're not her type. So my love meant nothing to you." Naruto glared at Hinata, making her flinch. "Were you leading me on this whole time? I poured my heart and soul out to you. I was even going to propose to you tonight." "What?" everyone shouted. Naruto took out from his pocket a golden band with the words, "Forever Intertwined," engraved on it. It was the wedding ring Dan Kato was going to give Tsunade until he died. It was given to him by Tsunade when the day would come for him to propose to Hinata. "That's right, Lady Tsunade gave me this ring that Dan was going to propose to her with a long time ago. She said this would go to the love of my life, and I thought that was you. Naruto-kun, I am sorry, I really am. But you were only a fling," Hinata said softly, putting her hand on his shoulder. "You're still my friend, Naruto, regardless. But I just don't love you, I'm sorry." "I'm sorry too," the blonde said before punching her across the face, knocking her to the ground. "Hinata-chan," Mira gasped as her wife-to-be fell to her knees holding her cheek. Minato and the others were horrified. Naruto actually struck the Hyuga heiress. They didn't expect this kind of reaction since Naruto never harmed a woman in his life. They always thought Naruto was a good boy with a good heart and good morals. Kushina was speechless, whereas Minato knew this action would cause a major problem with the Hyuga clan. "Sorry that I ever fell for someone like you. It's true what Neji said, you really are like the main branch. You don't care who you hurt." Hinata's heart broke at that statement as the angered boy walked past her and shoved his parents aside and left the chambers with a slam of the door. They thought he just needed time to cool off and let out his frustration. "I mean, it's not like Naruto would kill himself, right? Hinata, you okay?" Mira panicked. "I'm okay, Mira-chan, my pride is just be bruised tea, that's all." Hinata stuttered. Forest of Death. Spider Domain. A few hours had passed since the disaster at council meeting and Naruto was resting in his home, in the Forest of Death, not giving a damn about what was happening in the village or what happens to it. The only person that mattered to him was at his side, Kyuubi's bright dark red fur body, which laid next to him. Naruto allowed the fox free rein out of the seal for a while. Naruto had changed a lot after the war, which Kyuubi noticed. He was no longer the happy idiot that everyone wanted him to be, but he didn't care. Why should he try if they never gave him the chance? The main reason he was like this was because his sister became the Godem Hokage and that Hinata dumped him for her. He was told that he was deemed too immature by his so-called parents and that he could always become the 6th Hokage. He couldn't believe that after everything he did for Konoha he was denied the position for Hokage. He killed Obito and Madara with some new abilities he and Sasuke had gained through hard work. He was the strongest person in the entire village that was on a higher league than everyone else, yet his dream was taken away from him. Naruto also stopped smiling around other people. Most would say he was still hurting from being passed over as Hokage, while others thought him to be a broody sour loser. It also didn't help his newly reputation as a emo as he isolated himself. However, to make matters worse, word spread of his assault on Hinata during the breakup. The Hyuga heiress was isolated in her compound and Hiyashi was demanding the boy's head. Hinata managed to prevent him from doing it as she claimed Naruto had a right to retaliate. But regardless of everything that happened, everything went back to normal quickly. "Naruto-chan, you okay? Still thinking about it?" the fox asked. Naruto groaned. "I keep trying to forget about it, but it still hurts. First I lose my dream and then I lose the woman I love." Now I'm forced to marry that ugly flat-chested pink-haired banshee. My bastard father also told me there is no way out either. Actually there is a way, Naruto. Kyuubi grinned. Really, and what would that be, Kyuubi? Since dad is the Hokage I have to obey him and marry Sakura. Not if you marry someone who already loves you and wishes to be your bride. But the only person I ever loved was Hinata and maybe Hanabi Hyuga. But she's too young to marry. Naruto groaned. Why not ask your mother for advice? Kyuubi suggested. Naruto thought about asking his mother and realized that Kurama had a point since she was one of the wisest people in existence. Shelab wanted Naruto to have a suitable partner that would greatly benefit not only him but her as well. With a nod of his head he headed out in the back of his house and into the darkest part of the forest where his mother goes when hunting for food. He also noticed all the spider webs around. "Mother," Naruto called out, his voice echoing through the trees. Suddenly a cold feeling ran through his body as he noticed his mother in the distance. She was tall and beautiful with long black hair and dark black eyes. She wore a spider dress of black satin which hugged her body, showing off her Y figure and her double D size S. It was horrible, mother. They firmly think I'm not capable of being the Hokage. They claim I'm not mature enough. Also, to add insult to injury, they want me to marry that sack of shit Sakura Haruno. Shelab showed a bit of her sharp teeth as it formed a growl. Why would they want you to marry Sakura? What happened to Hinata? Wasn't she going to marry you? She then quickly noticed her son's fallen, heartbroken expression. She immediately grabbed him in her arms. Naruto, what happened? She demanded. Hinata. He cried. She said I was just a fling and that she didn't love me at all. Then she married my sister. Naruto sobbed into her shoulder as the Spider Queen wrapped her arms around him and held him close. During that hug she suddenly got a vision. It showed her Naruto on a throne with the elf woman sitting next to him. He also commanded a grand army full of magical creatures and humans. It would seem her son had a far greater destiny in store for him. Sochi, look at me, she said softly. Her son looking up at her. You don't need the Hokage position. You have a greater destiny than that. What do you mean, mother? I had a vision of you upon a throne of a large empire in a long-forgotten nation. She smiled. Me? A ruler? Naruto stuttered. She immediately shushed him as she sensed they weren't alone. She turned to face the direction that their guests were coming from. Naruto got a kunai ready to help his mother. The shadows came into the light as it was Jiraiya and a few Anbu for protection. Jiraiya-san, what are you doing here? Shelab asked coldly. I have very little patience for your kind. Lady Shelab, we are here to give Naruto his invitation. One of the Anbu said, holding an envelope. Shelab snatched the envelope as she opened it. She hissed with each word she read. Dear Naruto Senju Shelab, you are invited to the wedding of Mira Uzumaki Namikaze and Hinata Namikaze ne Hyuga. The wedding will take part on Thursday, October 19th at 3 p.m. a week after Mira's coronation as the 5th Hokage. Please RSVP as soon as you can. Naruto, hearing that, shook his head at his mother. Taking that as a no, Shelab ripped the invitation up before their eyes. My son and I won't be attending the wedding to the Namikaze girl and that whore of hers. Shelab hissed. Now I would suggest that you go back to your Hokage and inform him that the Shelab Senju clan won't be attending. Naruto, your sister and Hinata want you to be there. Hinata even wanted you to be her best man. Mira wants you to walk her down the aisle. Jiraiya smiled brightly, but frowned when Naruto didn't even crack a smirk. You actually think that I would have anything to do with those two? My sister, who made my childhood a living hell when I was living with the Namikaze. I had a horrible childhood till I met Lady Shelab. That's why I look like this. I asked mother to use her power to change my genetics, that's why I have black hair and silver eyes. Don't get me started on that slut Hyuga. The woman who I thought loved me admitted I was just a fling and broke my heart when I was at my weakest. Naruto released killer intent, filling the area with such ferocity and darkness. Now head back to Minato Namikaze or I will be forced to make you leave, Shelab threatened. Or would you like to go back in body bags? Jiraiya and the Anbu got ready in case of an attack. Naruto had strands of shadows ready to strange anyone who would dare get close to his mother. Heed mother's warning, Jiraiya-san. I don't think Minato would want blood spilt because of him. I kindly leave or go back in pieces. Naruto negotiated. Seeing they weren't going to leave Naruto's side, He gave them a chance to leave with their lives intact. They aren't leaving mother, care to give them a sample of your power? Naruto smiled. Shelab took a deep breath. She tapped into her power. Many eyes appeared on her forehead and her teeth grew sharper within her mouth. Letting out a loud roar, she unleashed her fury upon them and began ripping through the bodies of the Anbu. Jiraiya stepped back before falling backwards in fear of the woman before. The way she took the Anbu with such precision and ferocity was enough to make him shiver. He shook as he felt piss running down his legs. Shelab finished off the last Anbu, except she didn't kill them. No, she petrified them. She then walked over to Jiraiya and gripped his throat. I gave you a chance to leave. Now your friends have paid the price. Don't worry, they are petrified. Now tell Minato to leave me and my son alone or you'll be dealing with a very angry spider. She then threw Jiraiya up before launching herself into the air. She then grabbed his neck and tossed him towards the direction of the forest entrance. He was then sent flying towards the Hokage's office. Well, that got rid of him, Shelab smirked. But something tells me he will be back. Hokage Tower. People were gathering in front of the tower as they were informed that a new Hokage was being chosen today. Excitement spread as everyone talked about who it was going to be and the future of the village. Due to the event, many shops were closed while others were working as catering for a grand celebration. Kakashi, who was overlooking the crowd, told Minato that everyone had gathered at the tower. Excellent, Kakashi. Minato thanked him. Mira, are you ready? Kushina asked her nervous daughter. Mira was dressed in her Jonin outfit along with her trench coat that said 5th Hokage. Her long red hair was tied in a ponytail. She looked like her mother and it was a proud moment in her family's lives. She managed to live the dream Kushina one day wanted. Her wife-to-be Hinata was dressed in Jonin attire with a nice overcoat. I'm a little nervous, Ka-san. There is no reason for you to be nervous. Minato assured her. This is a grand day for Konoha. You will lead Konoha into a golden age. Mira welcomed her father's praise till she noticed her brother hadn't arrived yet. She wondered where he was. She guessed he was still angry for losing his dream. Where's Naruto? Mira asked. I sent Jiraiya to give Naruto his invitation. After all, this is a family moment, so the whole family should be here. Minato answered. Speaking of which, Jiraiya should be here with Naruto by now. At that moment, Jiraiya crashed through window, which startled everyone. Jiraiya was covered in bruises and deep cuts. They wondered if Naruto attacked him after receiving his invitation. Jiraiya-sensei. Minato knelt down next to him. Can you hear me? What happened? Shelab, HHRPP power. It was so dark. She attacked us with such ferocity and skill. It was like fighting a wild beast. Jiraiya shivered. Naruto asked her to show me and my Anbu team a sample of her power. She petrified them and told me to send you a message. What message? Kushina asked. Naruto refused to attend the ceremony. He also refused to attend the wedding. He didn't want anything to do with your family. Jiraiya grunted in pain, trying to sit up. He refused? Mira covered her mouth, trying to muffle her sobs. But I wanted him to be here. Hinata didn't need a seer to know that Naruto was going to refuse. She thought Naruto would be her best man for the sake of their friendship. Guess she was wrong. She ran her hand down her future wife's back as she could see she was trying not to cry. Mira-chan, it's okay, Hinata consoled her. Pull yourself together, love. This is your special day. We will deal with Naruto later. Right now you have to show your courage and show the people that they chose a great Hokage. Wiping her tears, she thanked Hinata with a warm, bright smile. You're right, Hinata, Mira sniffled. Okay, I'm ready. The ninjas and Konoha representatives nodded. The group of 7 then walked up the stairs to reach the top of the tower, the area in which the Hokage usually gives speeches to the people of Konoha. Mira was asked to stand by the door where he could not be seen by the crowd. They asked her to wait before she was introduced as Hokage. Mira nodded obediently and watched as Minato stood in the middle of the tower balcony. To his left were Kaharu and Homura, and to his right were his wife, Kushina, and his student, Kakashi. As Minato walked to the front of the balcony, the crowd suddenly went silent. All signs of whispers, murmurs and chatting all ceased as their 4th Hokage repaired to address the crowd. People of Konoha, I come before you today full of pride and joy, a golden age in Konoha. For today I will be stepping down and will hand the reins to someone who has done so much for the village. Minato took off the Hokage's hat from his head. It was time to show the village the face of their new leader. Without further ado, I now introduce to you all the 5th Hokage of Konoha, my daughter Mira Namikaze Uzumaki, he declared as the villagers were silent upon hearing this declaration. Presuming that was her cue, she made his way towards her father and was handed the hat. She grabbed it with her left hand and placed it on her head. The other people occupying the front of the balcony stood back as Mira walked to the edge and crowd cheered loudly. Minato and Kushina were crying with tears of joy, as was Hinata as they clapped too. Thank you, kind people of the Leaf. I proudly dedicate my life to keep this village safe. Along with the help of wife Hinata Hyuga, soon to be Lady Hinata Namikaze. Mira shouted, getting loud cheers. Also, I am pleased to announce that my brother has been chosen by me and my father, your former Hokage, to become head of the entire Anbu division, where he will bring forth a powerful new generation to the village. He and I are the light and the shadow of the Leaf. Together we will maintain the peace we had brought to the world. Shelib and Naruto were watching from the shadows. Naruto sneered at the declaration she made. Ooh, he was the shadow of the Leaf all right, but he wasn't going to waste his life being in Anbu. They were already planning on leaving the village. However, they had to prepare for their journey. Naruto had to empty the Senju bank accounts, clear out the compound and sell it for a large sum of money, and finally taking every Senju jutsu and sealing scrolls, including the Forbidden Scroll. Look at the mother, how pathetic, Naruto growled. Don't waste your emotions on those meatbags. If we're going through with this, you'll have to cut all of your ties with this place. Already did mother. Soon the village would lose more than just a single boy. They would lose access to not only a powerful bloodline but also the Kyuubi as well. Naruto knew his precious people would miss him, but he hoped they would understand why he has left. Shelib wrapped her arms around her son and whispered in his ear. Come on, my little spider, we have planning to do. Naruto nodded, giving one last glare at the Hokage tower before vanishing into the shadows. Excitement was bursting. Decorations were hung around the district, cherry blossom flowers and streamers along the buildings. It was the wedding day of Mira Namikaze and Hinata Hyuga. The wedding was taking part near the western forest. Mira loved exploring there when she was young, and she wanted her special day to be close to that location. Minato was chatting with the florists and best chefs in the village. Mira and he and his friends were going nuts and crazy over what to get them for a wedding present. Ino and Sakura were arguing over a beautiful picture frame that kinda got them in trouble for causing a ruckus and getting kicked out of the store. Choji and his family were in charge of the main course meals of the wedding. So Choice decided on cooking something extra special. Shikamaru and his future wife Tamari were looking at different places that would be great for the wedding couple's honeymoon. Guy and Lee, much to Tenten's embarrassment, was going to give the couple dumbbells, earning them a scolding from Tenten. Kiba and Shino had no idea what to get. Mira and Hinata were getting fit for their wedding dresses. Mira had a long laceless wedding dress with roses along the neckline and down the front of the dress. Hinata on the other hand chose a light green dress with yellow flowers attached to it. She wore diamonds in her headpiece and around her neck, mostly sapphires. Kushina was awestruck with their choices. Ooh, look at you two, you look so amazing. Kushina chuckled. You remind me of myself on my wedding day. Mira blushed a little bit at the comment. Thank you, mother. This wedding is just like my dream when I was a little girl. Mira dreamed of a wedding like this when she was young. To be walked down the aisle and given away by her brother. It was like a fairy tale wedding. The mention of her brother brought sad feelings that she suppressed for a while. She was still heartbroken that Naruto wasn't going to attend the wedding. Even after marrying Hinata, she thought her brother would at least attend the wedding for her own sake. But she guessed not all dreams come true. Muffling her sniffles, which Kushina noticed, she cried a little in her hand. Honey, what's wrong? This is your wedding day, you should be happy. I am happy, mother, more than ever. Mira assured her with a small smile. But I wish that Naruto Ni-san was here. I wanted him to walk me down the aisle like in my dreams. But I guess not all dreams comes true. Kushina hugged her daughter as she cried into her chest. She understood her heartbreak all too well. She knew what it was like to be on the end of her son's hatred. She understood that Naruto's dream and love was taken, but it was still no excuse to ruin her daughter's big wedding day. Don't blame yourself, Mira-chan, Hinata spoke up. None of this is your fault, it's mine. I should have been honest with Naruto-kun from the beginning. If I had Naruto wouldn't have turned out this way. Hinata blamed herself for the change in Naruto. She should have just confessed her change of feelings to him during the war. But now it was too late. The man who boosted her confidence and made her into a better person was no longer the ray of sunshine that gave the Leaf Village hope. She feared that she created a monster of her own design. When Naruto struck her and called out on being like the main branch like Neji once called her, that alone planted the seeds. Naruto-kun, what did I turn you into? Hinata cried softly. Kushina couldn't bear to see her firecracker being upset on her wedding day. She believed it was time to have a little chat with her son. Konohagakure Central District. Naruto was walking down the street seeing so many people getting antsy and excited for the Hokage's wedding. It did nothing but make him sneer. He wanted to be happy for his sister, sure, but at the same time he couldn't know after what she took from him. Some of the villagers who began to notice him could only stare at him. Naruto could hear the thoughts. It's him, why would he be here? I thought he wouldn't come out of his isolation after what happened. He dares show his face after attacking Lady Hyuga-sama. Now that he's single, I wonder if he's available. What a bad boy. Ooh, I always loved the dark emo type. Naruto could only groan at everything he was hearing. He wasn't interested in anyone or anything for that matter. All he wanted was to ensure he had everything planned before he left the village with his mother. First thing he had to do was go to the Konoha bank while his mother and Kurama cleaned out through Senju compound of everything it contained. Konoha was once his home and always will. But now he wanted to find his own place in the world, and right now Konoha wasn't it. Turning the corner, he finally arrived at the largest building on that street. Walking in, he approached the front desk. Excuse me, my name is Naruto Senju, I am here on official business. The man looked up at him and smiled. Ooh, Lord Senju, greetings. What can I do for you today? I would like to withdraw all of the money in the Senju accounts, and I mean all of them. Naruto said seriously, which shocked the man. The bank teller was stuttering. The Senju bank accounts were the largest accounts in the village. The very amount was 500 billion ryo. It was used to fund the village's anbu, academy, orphanages, along with small ninja companies. To withdraw all of it would cut the village's funding by 80%. But Naruto was the owner of the money and it was his by birthright. Unknown to the village, Naruto was the biological son of Tsunade and Minato. Therefore making Naruto the last Senju in existence. Not even the Yondaime knew Naruto was her son. Apparently Tsunade gave birth in secret, and when he was born she told Kushina she had given birth to 2 children, leaving them to believe Naruto was theirs. Lord Senju, may I ask why you would want to remove all of the money? You know that most of it funds the village and its resource companies. It will lead the village to bankruptcy. The man begged, no, pleaded with him to change his mind. Naruto understood that it would bankrupt the village by 80%. But they had the Uzumaki and Namikaze accounts when combined were 900 million ryo in total. So the village wouldn't suffer that much. Naruto wanted to ensure that the Senju legacy went with him so he could rebuild a legacy that the Senjus would be proud of. I understand your concern, old man. Believe me, I do. But don't forget my sister's clan accounts make up 900 million ryo, which will be enough to fund the village. Plus the Uzumaki clan had invested in many businesses here. Therefore they will be no great loss. Now please place every ryo into my scroll, please. Naruto ordered, placing a blank scroll in front of him. Yes sir, one moment, the teller said, taking the scroll. The teller went to the Senju bank vault, which consisted of large amounts of ryo. He ordered the security guards to deposit all of the money into the scroll by order of Lord Senju. The guards didn't even bother asking, as they did their job. Once finished, the teller returned to Naruto and gave him the scroll. There you are, sir. All of the money had been taken from the vault and sealed into the scroll. Thank you, old man, pleasure doing business with you. Naruto thanked him and strapped the scroll to his back. On his way out he bumped into Sakura and Sasuke. Sakura groaned, rubbing her head, then demanded who was the wise guy. She looked up and saw Naruto. She didn't realize that Naruto had finally come out of his emo state. Ooh, Naruto, I didn't see you there. But it's good to see you finally joining everyone in the festivities. So are you on your way to the wedding? Sakura asked. Ooh, no, I'm here on clan business. Also, I kindly declined the invitation to the wedding. Naruto answered, keeping his cool. Sasuke, who knew Naruto the best, knew that the Dobi was putting on an act. He's been around the idiot long enough to know when he was angry. He could tell Naruto was trying to keep his cool and not burst out. The loss of the Hokage's position and Hinata hit his friend hard, he knew that. Naruto was always overlooked for his sister like he was with Itachi. But still he tried to be there for Naruto as best he could as his friend. But Naruto's cold demeanor and harsh attitude, it was pretty hard. Naruto, I know you're upset for losing two things in your life. But things will get better, I mean our wedding is coming up, don't you forget. Sakura smiled. Sasuke cringed as he noticed a vein bulging on Naruto's forehead. Naruto looked like he was about to blow his top until he took a deep breath. The raven-haired Senju looked at Sakura and finally decided to speak his mind. Sakura, there will be no wedding, Naruto said firmly. What? Sakura shouted until Naruto held his hand up. I can't marry someone I don't love. Believe me Sakura-san, you're a powerful medic and a strong kunoichi. But you deserve someone who can love you back. I'm not that person, and before you make claims that I love you. I did once, I had a crush when we were kids, but I got over that when I foolishly fell for Hinata. The Hokage and Kushina-san may think you're good for me, but I know you're not. What, so now you're saying I'm not good enough for you? Sakura shouted, gripping her fist. Naruto's eyes hardened. I'm not saying that. Answer me this, Sakura. Do you even love me at all? Sakura stopped for a minute as realization sunk into her. Did she love Naruto, or was this just her way of marrying into nobility? She remembered from her childhood that she didn't really like Naruto and always found him annoying. Even after growing up and during the war, Naruto was more like just a friend to her and nothing more. Seeing her silence, that answered his question for him. See Sakura, your silence speaks for you. You love Lord Senju, not the real me. Therefore I ask you to find someone that you truly love. Maybe Sasuke, since you've been going gaga over him when we were kids. Sasuke let out a happy HN. He laughed a bit, which confused them both. Sasuke hadn't laughed in years since the destruction of his clan. Dobi, I am happy engaged actually. Sasuke smiled, making Naruto gasp and Sakura sputtering in shock. Really? And who, may I ask, has captured the emo prince's heart? Naruto grinned. Hana Inuzuka. Sasuke smirked back. Kiba's sister, huh? Why not go for his mother? I know I would if I didn't fall for that Hyuga slut. Now Naruto, I am sure Hinata didn't mean for this to go this far. Sakura tried to convince him. Really Sakura, so if you were me, and Sasuke dumped you for another, what would you do? Once again Sakura couldn't think of an answer. Sasuke sighed as he asked Naruto if he was going to find another woman to replace Hinata. After all, he had to rebuild the Senju clan. Naruto shook his head in agitation. He hated being reminded of his duty as a sperm pusher. He wanted to be seen as a normal person, not a sperm bank. Naruto! Kushina shouted. Everyone turned to see a angry, hair-flaring Kushina. Sakura and Sasuke backed away as they knew how dangerous an Uzumaki woman is when they are angry. Kushina was no different. Naruto was unfazed by his rampaging stepmom as the wild, angered redhead approached him. Young man, this nonsense and attitude of yours has got to stop. You already made things worse by refusing your sister's wedding invite, and not attending her Hokage ceremony. It's been a week, Naruto, time to grow up and get over it. I have gotten over it, Kushina. Naruto retorted. No you haven't. Your father and I are at our wits' end with you. First you didn't show up for your ceremony for becoming head of the Anbu. Then you started to isolate yourself from your friends and family. Now you refused to even attend your sister's wedding, especially when she wanted you to walk her down the aisle and give her away. If you keep acting like this you'll become such a nervous wreck, you won't be able to come back from it. Kushina scolded him. I'm doing just fine, Kushina. I've been fine after the breakup. But it seems you can't understand that I want to be left alone. For once in your life, think about me for once. Naruto screamed until Kushina gripped his shoulder. You've been alone for a whole week now, Naruto. Now enough of your sob story and get ready. We have to get you ready for your sister's wedding and by extension your wedding with Sakura. Since Minato and I have decided for a double wedding, Sakura's mother will come to pick her up for her wedding dress. The other villages are here along with other very important people. Naruto pulled away from Kushina and glared at her. Don't you get it? Will you ever get it through that thick skull of yours? There will be no wedding. I already explained to Sakura that I will not marry her. He then looked over at Sakura. Sakura, do you really wish to marry me? A man you clearly don't love? Sakura gripped her arm as she turned her head away for a few seconds. Letting out a sigh, she turned to look at Kushina. Lady Kushina, Naruto is right. I can't marry a man I don't love. It wouldn't be right. If I do marry, then I want it to be someone who loves me and I him. I want someone who is compatible with me. Someone who likes the things I do. Someone who would love and cherish me. Which Naruto can do. Kushina started to explain, but it wouldn't be real love, it would just be out of obligation of our family. Sakura angrily shouted, I'm sorry Namikaze-sama, but I must refuse yours and Lord Namikaze's proposal of marriage. Naruto is right, I have to find my own partner, someone who I choose to marry. Kushina gasped a little as she couldn't believe that both parties have refused to marry one another. Sakura was the perfect person for her son. She knew that Sakura would be able to make Naruto forget about his heartbreak and Hinata. She believed Naruto would grow to love Sakura and things for Naruto would become much better. Now you have your answer from both sides, Lady Kushina. A marriage can't happen if both partners do not consent. So when you see father, give him the message that the Senju Haruno wedding won't be happening. He then turned away from her. Good day Sakura, Sasuke, Kushina. I wish you a good afternoon. I have clan business to attend to. Naruto then casually walked off towards the Senju compound, leaving the trio alone on the street. Kushina was silently biting her lips, her fists gripped tight. How dare that boy refuse her? She was looking out for his future. Didn't he realize what strings Mira and Minato had to pull to get Naruto the head Anbu position? But now it has become clear that Naruto clearly doesn't care about his future. If that was the case, then it was no skin off her nose. He wanted to ruin his future, then that was fine with her. She then turned and walked in the other direction, storming off in a huff. Konohagakure West Forest. Meanwhile, back at the forest area, the guests were pouring in by the hundreds. Minato greeted each one, including the cages. Everyone brought a gift for both Mira and Naruto's wedding. Most were expensive and others were quite common. One of the last guests to arrive was the royal family of the Daiwaimo. Minato quickly bowed his head and greeted him. Minato, good to see you again. The fire Daiwaimo smiled. Greetings my lord, Minato bowed. It's an exciting day for my son and future of the Senju. Indeed, I hope Naruto has come to his sense and will give his wife a chance. The Daimo's wife asked. Minato nodded to her and explained that Naruto had agreed to marry her. Only he didn't know that Naruto was lying and just said to get them to leave him alone. He has indeed. Don't you worry about that. Minato promised. Good, very good. She smiled as she and her husband took their seats. Minato smiled as he noticed so many came to the wedding. This union would boost their village's status since Naruto was quite honored among the other nations. Hell, even the Raikage respected Naruto more than Minato. Oanoki liked the brat despite him being the Yellow Flash's son. Gaara was his best friend and May had more of a crush on Naruto. More and more people gathered around and took their seats. Minato took his seat next to Ai and Onoki. Kushina arrived soon after and sat next to her husband. Ooh Kushina, there you are. Did you get Naruto and Sakura ready? Minato chuckled. No, Kushina said, shocking her husband. Naruto and Sakura both refused to marry each other. What? But how can that be? Sakura already agreed to the marriage. Naruto managed to convince her to not go through with it. Sakura refused to marry a man who doesn't love her back. Kushina growled. This is bad, we promised everyone a double wedding. Minato face-palmed. They sat up straight as the priest signaled for everyone to stand and for the organist to play the music. The woman nodded and began to play Here Comes the Bride. Everyone turned around as they saw Mira being led down the aisle by Jiraiya and Hinata led by her father. Mira looked radiant and beautiful in her wedding dress. Her hair was in a bun with a diamond headpiece around it. She wore jeweled-shaped flowers around the neck and had matching earrings to boot. She was also crying as this was the happiest day of her life. Hinata was as well. Jiraiya and Hiyashi father sat down in their chairs. The brides turned towards each other and smiled and took each other's hand in one another's. Friends and our fellow villages, we are gathered here today to join in holy matrimony Mira Namikaze and Hinata Hyuga. May Kami bless their union before us today. Who here gives away Mira Namikaze? We do, Minato and Kushina said proudly. And who gives away Hinata Hyuga? I do, Hiyashi said with a proud look on his face. Very well, let's get started. Do you Mira Namikaze take Hinata as your wife? To love and care for until death do you part? I do, Mira cried. And do you Hinata take Mira? I do. Hinata interrupted. Very well, is there anyone here who wishes these two shouldn't be married? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Seeing as no one was going to answer, though he didn't see Hanabi about to object, only for a glare from her father to stop her. He smiled and presented the rings to the couple. Mira took hers and placed it on Hinata's finger. With this ring, I promise to love and cherish you till my dying breath. And I promise to love and cherish you until my dying day. Hinata responded, placing the other ring on Mira's finger. By the power invested in me, and I now pronounce you Mrs. and Mrs. Namikaze. You may kiss the bride. Mira held Hinata close as their lips touch. The crowds cheered out loudly as fireworks went off and flowers poured from the sky upon the couple. Everyone was happy for the couple except for Hanabi. The married couple smiled at everyone as they took their seats on the left side of altar, as it was now time for the second couple to appear. The priest signaled for the organist to play the song again. The crowd was eager to see Sakura and Naruto walking down the aisle. Seconds turned to minutes and still no sign of them. Yandaime-sama, is your son going to arrive soon? The priest asked impatiently. I'm sure he will be here any minute, Minato said, sweating. Where are they? Ino wondered. You don't think they got cold feet? No, of course not. Naruto may be an idiot sometimes, but he wouldn't ditch something like this. Shikamaru answered. Anbu, Minato ordered as Kakashi and Anko appeared. Find my son and Sakura. Hi, they said as they scattered to find them. It was now further into the wedding and Naruto nor Sakura shown up. The ice sculpture of the Kyuubi melted completely and the audience were yawning as they were getting bored. Mira was starting to worry that Naruto wasn't coming, and sadly she was right. Another hour passed and people realized that Naruto and Sakura didn't want to marry. The Anbu returned stating they couldn't find them. Thankfully Anko managed to locate one of them at the Senju compound. Hokage-sama, Anko reported. I found Naruto, he's at the Senju compound. Thank you Anko, Minato thanked. Everyone please excuse me. Kushina, come with me. Senju compound. Shelib and Kurama were going through the clan library, reading through every single scroll there was. Who knew the Senju clan were collectors of knowledge? Kurama was going through the Senju's Fuinjutsu section while Shelib was reading through the Ninjutsu and Genjutsu sections. If they were to take everything in the library with them, then they had to ensure that everything they took was worth taking. Impressive, I got to hand it to the Senju clan. Shelib said, impressed with the knowledge the Senjus obtained. That's all for now. If you enjoy, then please like, share and do comments.